Y'all gotta excuse me, I'm getting ready for the gym. Sometime when I'm bored, I just go through just seeing what's going on online. And I noticed a whole bunch of videos. I'm talking an abnormal amount of content of people saying that the job market's hard and Gen Z is doomed. There's no point in even trying in this society because inflation is through the roof. We're in this recession. We're having all these problems, right? There's jelly on the bottom of my cup. I made a peanut butter jelly sandwich. First, I want to start by saying that seeing these sort of videos online is becoming increasingly normal day by day. I'm not even shocked to see these sort of videos, and I'm starting to think this is a new niche of video where people are just getting online and airing out their grievances, which I understand. I do like to see how other people think and feel about things that I hear about. And while I was scrolling, I came across a video. I don't even want to put the video up that I seen because it's actually not an attack on this person. It was just something I observed. My curiosity got the best of me, and I ended up watching this guy's video, and I noticed that he had more than one video in which the videos he uploads pertains now, it seems, mostly of him airing out his grievances about how he lost his job, one through social media because he was posting a rant about his job and how he couldn't work a 9 to 5, and then another video where he then got fired, then followed up by another video where I think in that video he's talking about how Gen Z is cooked and everybody's doomed and the job market's horrible, and about how he did like a job interview or something and he didn't get the job, and it was just a whole bunch of string of events like back to back to back to back. And I'm saying all this to say I'm noticing a bunch of content creators actually building a following of other people who are just like, yeah, I'm having the same experience. Granted, I understand there is an audience for everybody online. Like whatever it is you're going through, you can probably find somebody online having the same exact experience. I felt like, yeah, those are things that if I were going through that, I can understand. But I think I noticed something a little bit more dangerous about this sort of content. When I was going through the comments in the echoes of people just like, yeah, we're cooked. Like I keep telling people there's nothing we can do. I keep telling my family this is what I'm going through. And I just give up. And it's like, I get that people are going through things and I do feel for them. But I also strongly feel like, yeah, you're going through something, you're facing adversity, you keep getting the door slammed on you for all these different reasons, and all these different things just seem to not be going your way. But to get online and make videos like we're doomed, we're cooked, so what's the point, and blah 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 blah, and then getting online and cursing up a storm in your video, saying the N-word, talking about why you're not getting employment, like there's a whole bunch of things that are just wrong with people doing these sort of videos, and I just don't understand why they don't see it as an issue. And I understand these sort of videos are rants, and I get that's why they're coming off as unprofessional as they are. But do people not think, what if the person that you are looking to get hired by sees these videos and then they're doing like these follow-up videos where they're talking like everything they're doing is not working? And I just can't help but to think it might be because of your social media presence where you're saying the N-word, you're saying all these things, you're saying like we're doomed, we're cooked. It's just not coming off professional. And the sad thing is, a lot of the people who make these sort of videos, they say things like, oh, I have a degree, they're overqualified and all these things. And then when you get online and you just got to do a little bit of scrolling, y'all, it's not hard to scroll back. No lie, this guy was doing videos about like some raunchy stuff. And I was just like, I'm just like, dude, like, do you know that attached to this very account that you're recording on, you have some stuff on there that's it's a little questionable. And if I was an employer, if I'm going through all the people and I see like you keep going on these rants, you have a history of like calling out your employees and blah, 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 blah for all these different things, saying the N-word. And let me just say something about people using the N-word or just cursing up a storm in their videos. I really feel like out of all the words that we can use while looking for employment, y'all, that's wild. That's a wild thing to do because you do have to remember you are being judged off of face value. Whatever you're showing is what this person is judging you off of. That's not just what you're showing them at the interview. Like if you have tattoos and things like that, you have piercings and you're showing up and they can see things like that. Not to mention you have a social media account where you just kind of go off on these rants and they can see the real you. It's just like, we don't know if the real you is going to show up at corporate America. And I'm not saying that this is why a lot of people aren't getting the positions that they're wanting, but it doesn't shock me if you have a online presence and people have all this technology now. We can find people online and maybe they've come across your content or whatever the case may be. And what makes it worse is the people in the comments that are like, yeah, I'm having the same experience. Granted, I know this economy sucks right now for everybody. But I also see it like you and the person that's making the video, if you had to compete for a job, would not have been on the same playing field anyway. One of y'all is going to come out disappointed and somebody is going to come out with a job. Do y'all not understand that y'all have to compete with each other? And not everybody is going to come out victorious in these battles. Battles being you looking for the job and wanting the job. And sometimes you may be qualified and you may have all these things, but you don't know what your competition has up on you. And I think a lot of times people get wrapped up in, oh, I didn't get the job and why didn't I get it and I deserve it and blah, blah. Not saying that you don't, but what about your competition? Yeah, you might be overqualified, but maybe your competition was overqualified too. And maybe it came down to little things. And maybe they were one-upping you on those little things. Like, we don't know. And sometimes it is just, yeah, people are getting hired over you because they know somebody at the job and you don't know that person. So you're not going to get one up on them for that reason. But what's interesting to me about even those sort of situations is you could be the person that knows somebody, and if you got the job because you knew somebody, you wouldn't be mad about it if you were qualified and somebody else didn't get it because you had a personal relationship with the person. Like, you would be like, well, I knew them, so it is what it is. If you know the game, why not try to network? That's the way I see things. And I know that might come off as messed up, but if I know that people are one-upping me because they have a better network than me, I would then try to build my network. I'm going to share something with you all. When I was in the military, my whole job pretty much was to network. If you weren't networking in my job, you weren't getting the job done. And sometimes I didn't feel like talking to people. I didn't always feel like going to each unit trying to see who I can make a connection with, but I understood that with my job, that's how it worked. And that's how you became better than the other people in your job. You would be in your unit and they would say, how did you make that happen? Oh, I know somebody over here that was able to make this happen for us. They might say something like, hey, can you get us this item? We don't have the item here at the unit. At the job, pretty much. And me knowing that I don't got it, I don't have a way to get it, you have to sometimes look outside of yourself and make stuff happen. Or you can just be like, no, I don't know, and just sit there on your hands. There are people who will complain about something and there's people who will get the job done no matter what. And granted, every time it's not going to go in your favor, but if more likely than not, you are the person who is able to get the job done when nobody else seems to be able to get it done because you know people and you're well connected, that makes a big difference. If I personally was trying to apply at a job and I knew I really wanted the job, I would be trying my best to get in good with the boss before I even worked at the job. Maybe I go to the job and I just go there to talk and they already know my face. They already know my personality. They already know how I do things, that I'm friendly, like those sort of things. When you get out the military and you're trying to like transition back into the civilian world, we call it, they make you do mock interviews where you're literally doing interviews in front of like 30 different people that don't know you, and you're being interviewed in front of everybody, and they're going to tell you what you did good, what you did bad, if you answered things good. One thing that stood out to me was one of the hiring managers that was doing the mock interview said she was between like 3 different candidates, and she said she ended up hiring one of the candidates over the other 2 because they sent her an envelope after the interview, like a little thank you card. And she said pretty much all the thank you note was like, this little something you can get from the store. It's just like, thank you for giving me the opportunity or interviewing me and seeing me as a viable candidate. She said that person got the leg up on the other 2 because she was torn, because on paper they all looked pretty much similar. And the lesson that we all learned from that was sometimes you get the position because you stand out and you went a little bit above and beyond what your competition was willing to do. That simple. And I say that to say this about the videos I see online. I feel like they're simply just rants and they're a little unproductive in my opinion. I don't see solutions to problems. I just see the problem. I just see, oh, it's not going well for me and that's just the end of it. I don't know how that is inspirational to people. And if you start just making content where all you're doing is complaining and that is your audience, it's just of people that just want to hear you complain, and then they get in the comments and tell you, do more videos like this. I'm not understanding what value a audience gets from just hearing somebody complain with no resolution, no action that's going to actually help them. You just want to hear somebody complain. I think that's a little weird. And that's just my personal opinion. If I am in a bad situation and I don't want to be in this bad situation, yes, it sucks. Yes, things seems like everything is against me, But if I'm just consuming content that's just doom, 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 and there's nothing good that I can take away from it besides the fact you're frustrated, I'm frustrated, we're frustrated together. I just feel like it's one of those situations where it's like misery loves company. And I don't want no parts of it because I don't want to just dwell in misery. I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to stumble, fall, get up, do it again, and come back and tell you about how I got up and I kept going and I was able to make it happen. So you can then do it too. If you are feasting your eyes on this sort of content and this is what you're feeding yourself, you want to be a member of the misery mafia. And that's just what it is. It even made me think, instead of making videos where you're just solely complaining, and you better hope that none of the people you want to get hired by see these videos of you talking like this in your videos. If people use social media in order to make themselves look better instead of making themselves look worse, I think they would probably have a better chance of being hired. Because now, instead of if they found you online saying some crazy stuff and just going off on these tangents and cussing up a storm and yeah, these jobs ain't this and blah blah, what if they seen you instead showcasing your talent, your mannerisms, your professionalism, how smart you are, how you're willing to work as a team? Because teamwork can work online on YouTube. Like, you can make videos helping people. The rants, like, I get it, that's how you felt, but who is that really helping? What if you were doing mock interviews online and just like, hey guys, I'm gonna do this interview and blah blah, and I want your input? Or maybe like, hey, this is what I'm doing in order to get in a better position. Give me some tips and some tricks. What if you were asking for constructive criticism in order to be a better employee because y'all are trying to get jobs? What if instead of you coming online and just saying like everything is doomed and you're cooked, you came online and just showed that you were resilient? There's always a positive way you could do. Like, you can lean into the negative and let it eat you alive and then just spread that to other people. Or you could do like a positive flip on it, and then you could end up being an inspiration to other people and end up helping them more than you're keeping them in this doomsday mentality. You're online literally complaining about you can't get a job and your last job fired you because you was online. Why do you get on back online making videos that don't make you look good? I don't get that. I kind of feel like that shows that you don't know how to grow and to adapt because you haven't learned your lesson. Your lesson should have been, if you get back, maybe you need to clean up your social media. Maybe you need to not be posting stuff like that if you want a job. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, that's totally different. But if you're actually wanting to get hired by people who have eyes to see, you don't really carry yourself the best online, and your competition probably don't even have these sort of problems. You really are doing the damage to yourself. You're allowing the competition to one up you for what? A few views? I don't get that. These views that y'all getting online, y'all want a job. You saying like you need food, you need all these things. And then to be making videos like that is wild to me. The two don't go hand in hand unless it's all a front. Unless you're just making these sort of videos because it's popular right now. Because let's be for real, these sort of videos are popular. On every social media app I get on, I can just find a slew of people complaining. And I understand people's frustrations, but we got to get down to the root of stuff. All of these people complaining are not complaining for the same reason. One of these people complaining that I'm talking about literally had tattoos visibly that they could not cover up, talking about why is the competition outdoing them. I'm like, sir, you have visible tattoos that no matter what you do, you can't even cover. Your competition is walking in. Just walking in just off of appearance. Like I said, appearance matters. Probably with no social media of them doing these rants and no visible tattoos that cannot be covered up. And here you come, tattoos, social media where you just mouth filthy. And here you come with these visible tattoos that nobody in your comments is talking about. Everybody is just, yeah, man, everybody's against us. Yeah, he had degrees. I get it. But sir, you and the people in your comment section, if y'all was competing, they would one up you off of appearance already. And nobody's being honest. You can't show up with piercings, colorful hair, dressed inappropriately, tattoos that you can't cover up, and think that they're not going to judge you off of those things. Certain jobs you can do that. Like, if you're trying to work at a tattoo parlor, fine. If you're trying to just scoop ice cream for the kids, maybe. Cooking pizzas, all right. But we talking about you want to be in corporate America. If your degree is supposed to be used in corporate America, and you want one of them office jobs that got the AC, and you want good health care, and you want that cubicle type job, I get that everybody got like, I got tattoos, but I'm just saying, my tattoos can be covered up. Like, in no world would I expect that if I have visible tattoos and I'm trying to work a corporate job, then I'm not going to be judged. Like, hello. And if everybody can just so plainly call out what everything is, and it's just like, oh yeah, I can see that jobs ain't hiring and blah, blah, and everything's against us and we're doomed. Why couldn't nobody in the comment section call out the fact that you got visible tattoos? If everybody is so bright, like, you see what I'm saying? Everybody just want to be like, yeah, we're all the same. Half of y'all don't even got the same struggles as this man in the first place. And yet in the comments, just like, y'all have the same struggles. Y'all would one up him if you don't have what he has. You know, let me go here. Cause I know somebody could be like, oh, it could have been color. Look, I understand I'm black. I've been black yesterday, today, and I'm going to be black tomorrow. So I understand some things are out of your control. But let me tell you, whatever I can control, when it comes to competing, I'm not going to give the competition the one up on me. That don't make sense if I want money. If I really want to be the best and to have the job, why am I showing up with tattoos that everybody can see? Why am I showing up with piercings all on my face? Why am I showing up in inappropriate dress? If you want the job, you need to look like you want the job and not do things to put yourself lower than the competition. Because as qualified as some of y'all think y'all are, y'all just be walking in thinking that, oh, I'm qualified. Why didn't they give me the job? Because you're competing. And also part of competition sometimes is knowing the person that you're getting the job from. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm also saying that's how life works. Sometimes when you know somebody, they are able to walk in doors that you can't get in because you don't know people. You're not willing to put yourself out there. You're not willing to be honest. Instead of getting mad at the person who knew somebody, why don't you try to know people? You know the game. If you knew that that was the reason why anybody one-upped you, why wouldn't you just try to do the same thing? I just feel like I can't see an answer on the test and then be like, oh, you only got it because you knew the answer to the test was to know the owner. Why you don't get to know the owner? Why are you mad that I know the owner and you don't? If people know that people get jobs based off of knowing somebody, why don't you try to know as many people as possible? And the sad part is they know people, but they know people online from their videos, from complaining about not getting jobs, from not knowing people, when you could use that same energy to network. Social media can be used as a tool, but some of y'all put your foot in your mouth and then you walking around here like, woe is me, just looking unresilient, if I can be totally frank. I don't think people seeing that sort of behavior looking to hire you are going to be inspired. I don't think they're going to be pumped up. I think they're going to be like, ooh, we're going to have to skip over this one because we don't know how they're going to act when they actually get in here. Are they going to start acting like they act online? If you want to work for somebody else, you have to consider how you're looking online. You're going to have to play the game and you're going to have to compete with other people who may know the game better than you. And instead of getting mad at the game that they know and play better than you, why don't you try to play the game and outdo them? And I think the answer to that is a lot of people don't want to play the game. And I understand that. They're like, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to compete with people who know people. I shouldn't have to compete with this person for that. But that's just simply not how employment works, because the amount of people getting jobs off of the strength that they know somebody and that person understands their character more than they understand you, because you just walked in and all that they understand about you is you do rants online and they're unproductive, you don't inspire people, and you have people in your comments just as uninspired and unfired up as you. Why would you be a good asset to the team over somebody that they know? If it's a job worth having, you're going to have to compete and you're going to have to outdo the competition. That is what it is. And sometimes you're going to do your absolute best and you're still not going to get the job. But in my opinion, what you do after you keep getting turned down and getting shunned and getting pushed away for whatever reason, I think speaks more about your character than the fact that you keep getting doors closed on you. Because people who are hungry, who really want it, aren't going to stop, and they're going to end up probably getting it eventually. People that keep getting the door slammed on them, that keep showing up, they are resilient. And though, yeah, that's painful for everybody that doesn't get the opportunities that they want, not giving up and staying positive speaks a lot about what type of person you are. The minute stuff don't go your way, you start throwing tantrums and you start going off online and N-word this and be that and these jobs ain't ish and this blah, blah, blah. When you start doing all of that right there is just speaking on what type of person you truly are. And what y'all need to understand is they don't even have to interview y'all anymore to figure out that's the type of person you are, because you're putting this nonsense online.